Pretty safe to say that the words controversy and social media influencer go hand in hand, right? It feels as if we see a new scandal taking the internet by storm every other week. Sometimes it's even every couple of days. And it's all just got to a point where internet personalities are really just seen as overly entitled and dramatic. And sometimes they go way too far. So here are 7 internet stars that need to be stopped. With over 19 million subscribers, they're one of the most subscribed to family vlogging channels on YouTube. But they're also one of the most hated. And that's not without reason, because they're not exactly strangers to controversy. They've been called out for all manner of things over the years, from scamming their fans out of a lot of money during a charity basketball game, to potentially staging a break-in on their own home and stealing an indie artist's business idea. Besides just being overly entitled, like telling his fans that they should be paying to watch his content after they asked him about the next video, Austin's also been singled out a few times. Perhaps the most upsetting is the time that he bought his niece an inappropriately shaped lollipop. And we're not saying that you can't laugh when a kid does something funny without meaning to, right? That's not the issue. What is the issue here is that Austin presumably saw her trying to grab it, filmed her doing it, bought it for her while saying he shouldn't, and then posted the video to his Snapchat for millions of people to see. The most notable controversy, though, is probably his behavior regarding Bryce Hall. While the two are now set to be the headliners of a YouTubers versus TikToker boxing match in June of 2021, well, that wasn't always the case. Back in March, Austin started a smear campaign against Bryce when he refused to fight him, going so far as to openly mock him and call him a coward.
Maybe he don't want no smoke.
Maybe he's scared, right? That's the only answer, is he's scared.
Given the almost 10-year age gap between them, he's been heavily criticized for his continuously bad behavior. Coming in at number 6 is everybody's least favorite teacher, that vegan teacher. Where do we even start with this one? From making uncomfortable remarks about the internet's current golden boy, Tommy Innit, to offending multiple minority groups, to even being accused of mistreating her dog. Whew, she truly has been accused of it all. That vegan teacher, otherwise known as Miss Katie, first went viral back in July 2020 when she uploaded a TikTok video called "Eating Animals is Wrong, McDonald's." But that wasn't where her notoriety would end. Towards the end of 2020, she duetted one of Tommy's TikToks, making a bunch of inappropriate remarks about helping him find a nice vegan girlfriend. When people called her out for her behavior, she tried to defend herself by saying that it was okay because she was a teacher and he was a college student, forgetting that Tommy's from the UK, where being a college student means that he is under 18. Yikes. While once one of the most popular YouTubers on the internet, it's pretty safe to say that David Dobrik's fall from grace will go down in history as nothing short of spectacular. Within a matter of months, he's gone from being considered one of the nicest people on the platform to possibly the most hated man on the internet. Things really started going wrong for David back in February of 2021. Former Vlog Squad member Seth Francois released an article with BuzzFeed detailing his time with the squad, bringing up problems such as the now infamous prank that went too far, and often feeling like he was the butt of racially charged jokes. And as if all those allegations weren't bad enough, things got even worse for him in March. Insider released an article detailing the incredibly upsetting experience one young woman had with Dirty Dom during the shooting of one of their vlogs. David has since made two apology videos, but many former fans aren't sure that's enough. He's been called out for not actually being sorry and only apologizing because he started losing sponsorships. Whether that's true or not is up for debate, but it'll be very interesting to see if things get any worse for him over the coming months. And moving on to number 4, we have Jeffree Starr. Having been on the internet since the days of MySpace, it doesn't exactly come as a shock to learn that Jeffree has been involved with a variety of scandals over the years, but somehow he's managed to weather some pretty serious allegations and keep his career mostly intact. His time as an internet personality has seen him accused of, well, a lot. Multiple accusations of making racially insensitive comments, the whole Bye Sister scandal being an excuse to ruin James Charles's career. He was even accused of getting physical with some of his employees. Not to mention the fact that he's gone on record saying that he collects dirt on his friends so they can't publicly oppose him if things go south between them later down the line. And for a while, it did look like his career might be over. You know, people were tired of him and his behavior. And then Shane Dawson's The Beautiful World of Jeffree Star Starr documentary series came out and completely reinvented Jeffrey's entire career. He was painted in a very different light than what we're used to, and it made a lot of people very sympathetic towards him. It didn't mean that the bad stuff he's done had gone away, but it did, unfortunately, mean that a lot of people stopped caring about it. But it seems as though public opinion might be shifting away from him again. 2020 finally saw Trisha Paytas go public about her experiences with Jeffrey behind the scenes, and the things she said about him are pretty scary, like inviting her on a trip to Las Vegas with his friends and then spending the whole time making fun of things she's been vocally insecure about. He also continued to employ Hair by Jay after he went on Instagram Live and said some truly awful things about Trisha. Sometimes it just feels like Jeffrey's a high school bully. And speaking of Shane Dawson, he kicks off our top 3. Now, we know what you might be thinking. Why is Shane even on this list when he's already taking a break away from the internet? Isn't he doing what you want? And that answer is yes, kind of. See, Shane kickstarted his own downfall back in 2020 when he angered pretty much everyone in the beauty community. In response to this, a lot of people started digging through his own content and calling him out for some pretty serious behavior, including him doing blackface, saying the N-word, and multiple instances of him making inappropriate comments about children. And it wasn't even the first time Shane had been canceled over it. It's happened before, and Shane has managed to come back every single time. This appears to be the case this time around too. It seems as though Shane might be gearing up to make a comeback in the future. In March, he posted on his Instagram story that he had edited Ryland's latest video and also appeared in the trailer for it. It's got a lot of people speculating that this might be their way of testing the waters to see how people would react if he did come back to YouTube. All of this comes after Trisha Paytas, Shane's best friend of more than 10 years, pretty much guaranteed it was coming out at the start of 2021 when she publicly dropped it.
Yeah, people want him back, and he will be back.
Can we get a,
love him.
Shane could come back at any time. People would love him. Thank you.
He has a
Whether he tries making a comeback or not, it's important to remember the things he's done and just keep them in mind, right? At this point in his career, Jake Paul, the kid's gotta be used to controversy. He's more or less built his entire online empire through the negative press he gets, after all. His entire career has just been plagued with scandal, from getting fired from his own show on the Disney Channel because of his behavior off set, to scamming his young audiences out of their parents' money, to being raided by the FBI. Yeah, you heard that right. He was raided by the FBI. The reason for the raid has never officially been released, but back in June of 2020, Jake was charged with criminal trespassing and unlawful assembly. This came after a video of him and a group of friends in a Scottsdale, Arizona mall as it was being looted found its way on the internet. At the time, he denied any involvement in the looting, but that didn't stop people from heavily criticizing him for using the Black Lives Matter protests as an excuse to cause trouble. After a couple months of relative silence where he just focused on his boxing career, because that's the thing he's doing now apparently, he made headlines again. He just can't keep to himself. On April 9th, 2021, TikToker Justine Paradise uploaded a video to her YouTube channel, accusing Jake of making unwarranted advances towards her. She makes it very clear in the video that at the time of the incident, she had repeatedly told Jake to stop, but he ignored her and forced himself on her without her consent. Jake has obviously denied the allegations, but still, that's disgusting. And finally, our number 1 spot goes to James Charles. Could this really have gone to anyone else? We said earlier that David Dobrik was possibly the most hated man on the internet, and with good reason. But while that may be true, it's also safe to say that James is well on his way to fighting for that crown. This all started with the Bi Sisters scandal back in 2019. Toddy Westbrook's 43-minute-long video started off as her way of discrediting James for a pretty petty reason, right? She was trying to call him out for advertising another company on his Instagram instead of pushing for her own company's products. And most people probably would have brushed that off as petty influencer drama, and it would have died down after a few weeks. But the video didn't end there. Toddy started calling him out for his inappropriate behavior towards straight men. She claimed that James had been using his power and influence as an internet celebrity to pressure straight men into being gay for him. Now, obviously, this did not go well for James. He lost over 3 million subscribers because of it. Surprisingly, though, he managed to pull his career back from the brink. He released a response video, No More Lies, and managed to provide enough receipts to prove his innocence. Kind of all just backfired on Toddy, as well as Jeffree Starr and Shane Dawson, who encouraged her to make the video in the first place. A lot of people saw it as a way for them to try and ruin his career. But with allegations against him now in the double digits, people are starting to realize that they might not have been wrong, with the number of underage boys coming out against him and claiming he's been inappropriately messaging them. People have taken a closer look at both Toddy's video and James's response, and what they've noticed is that even though Toddy focuses on them being straight, she also mentions that they're pretty young. And you know, as if that wasn't bad enough, he's also admitted to some of those allegations.
These conversations should have never happened, point blank period. There's no excuse for it, there's no ifs, ands, or buts, and I take full responsibility for that.
And that's our list of the 7 internet stars that need to be stopped. Did we miss anybody that you think we should have mentioned? Whose ranking would you change if you could? Let us know in the comments below.